Yo, what's up everybody, Hoy with you here, bringing you 7 Deadly Sins manga review. This is chapter 313 titled Brothers of Destiny. This was a really, depending on how you look at it, this could be either a really good chapter or a really bad chapter. Me personally, I enjoyed it, but it starts off with the king being told by Escanor and Hawk of what's to come. So all the Holy Knights are getting ready for battle and, protecting themselves. Because, this monster that was released by the new Demon King, Zeldarist. So, when that goes on, Hawk splits. He's like, I gotta go take care of something. And he was like, you're leaving me? And Escanor, he got basically ignored by Hawk, and Hawk just kept going. And we see Escanor in like some type of, what you call like an alleyway. And he's coughing up blood. And he starts to pray up to heaven, and he's praying to Mel. And he was like, Mel, if my voice can reach your ears, please, one more time, help me. And I guess he's asking for sunshine back. I mean, no matter what, if he gets sunshine, the grace back or not, Escanor is bound to die, sadly. That's gonna be his fate. As much as we all like him and all, he's most likely gonna die. Unless Merlin pulls some ass pull and she used some type of magic on him to like stop his time and his heart and body and stuff, so he can be able to move around, but his body will not be affected by whatever he has. I mean, you gotta think about it. This is like the longest that a human had ever had the grace. He was born with the grace from that we know of so far, so that's over 40 years that he had the grace in his body. Now, was it active all those 40 years? Who knows? Maybe not, but that's still insane. Then we get to see what Hawk is doing. Hawk is actually talking to Hawk's mom, and he's like, yo, wake up, mama. We need you for this final battle. And she ends up ignoring Hawk, and she doesn't wake up. But we end up seeing her eye. And her eye, she had some, like, a figure in her eye. And if you really focus on what the figure is, it's actually someone laying down with a sword embedded in their chest. And then she states that the king has died, that the balance is broken, and that a new king shall emerge, or something along that lines. I didn't write it down on my notes, but those are basically the two things that she basically states, that the balance of power is broken and a new king should be appear. So most likely that person that was with the sword embedded in his chest and her eyeball, that was most likely Arthur, he's always been built up as this character that's going to be very important of power and grace. So it makes sense. I know a lot of people, I was reading the comments, they were bashing and hating on Arthur, and they hope that he doesn't come back, and they hope that's not him. But let's be realistic, that's going to be him. The fact that Nagabo Sensei himself said that a spin-off manga of 7 Deadly Sins is going to be focused on Arthur and his journey, he's going to be very prevalent eventually towards the end of 7 Deadly Sins, and it looks just like him. He's the only person recently that we know that died with a sword embedded in his chest. So, it is what it is, whether you like him or not. I always liked Arthur. He's my favorite character, so second favorite after Zeldarist, so I don't mind. But that was very unique. The fact that she said that the power balance is broken. Since there's two Demon Kings now, Demon King Zeldarist and now Meliodas. Is that what she means by the power is broken? That instead of being one Supreme and one Demon King, now that it's two of one and one of the other, that's making the power scale broken? I wonder if that's what it means. Or does it mean because these high-level God characters are on the Earth, that's breaking the balance, and that's why the Earth is going crazy? It could mean either or. It's very difficult, but we get to switch over to Meliodas and Elizabeth, and they fly into this lake in Britannia, which has the highest magic potency, because supposedly that's where the Demon King is resting to gather up the rest of his power, since he extinguished someone he was fighting in the 7 Deadly Sins last time. And he doesn't want to make that mistake again, especially with his new vessel. And Meliodas, he states in a backflash that we get to see that he actually asked Zeldarist, take your girlfriend Gilda and come with us, me and Elizabeth, to the human world. And Zeldarist slapped his hand and was like, no, and I won't consider you my brother no more, and the next time we meet, we'll be enemies. and he stormed off. And we see two shadow figures in the distance watching. Those two are probably the two of the old commandments that Meliodas killed before he left. He probably noticed that they were watching the conversation. He wanted to off them before they told anybody. So it was just bad luck that they know about the conversation. He probably would allow them to live if they didn't know. Probably. But he was reflecting on that, and he tells Elizabeth, I feel kind of stupid. I should have known that he wouldn't be able to come, since Gilda's a vampire and she's people of the darkness. They can't really survive in sunlight. So it makes sense why she had to stay stuck in a demon world, which is completely always in darkness. But, you know, he tells Elizabeth, I want to make things right and I want to get my brother back. And she was like encouraging him, saying, yeah, we are. We're going to get this. Then we switch over to Zeldarus, and he wakes up finally from his dream. And he's like, yo, father, please, I want my body back. And he's begging for it. And I'm like, they just keep doing my boy Zeldarus wrong every manga panel after manga, like, chapter. Like, they just keep doing him wrong. And he doesn't get to meet his dad, but he gets to meet Gilda. And he's like, you're a fake, you're an illusion. My dad would never allow you to come in here. And she's like, thanks to your brother releasing me, I'm able to now travel freely. And I decided to use my magic to come here and see you. And she hugs him and she puts her breast in his face and she hugs him and embraces him. And she's like, I'm happy to see you. And she says all the words that Zeldarus wants to hear. And Zeldarus is crying and he's kind of like happy, so he hugs her back. But we get to switch over to the Demon King Zeldarus, and he's smiling. So that is most likely is an illusion by him, not the real Gilda, but an illusion version. And I'm kind of sad that he's actually dumb enough to fall for it. But then when you think about it, all the emotion that Zeldarus has been going through and all the trauma, physically and mentally and spiritually, that he's been going through, it kind of makes sense. It's sad that he's going through it, but it makes sense. I mean, he's emotionally right, technically. But then we get this awesome panel, I believe it's page 19, where Mel and Elizabeth fly down and they're across the lake from Zeldarus Demon King, and they're just staring off, and we get like this epic showdown between the two, stare down between the two, and it was really, really awesome. I really cannot wait. But that was basically the end right there, that epic panel of them just staring off at each other. Again, this was a build-up chapter, and I know a lot of people probably won't like it because of the way it was built up, and I know since Arthur's going to be like a main key and probably defeating the Demon King, that's going to get a lot of people ticked off and they won't like it. I know they're going to call BS and scream. But you have to remember, I don't believe Arthur's going to be the one to take down the Demon King. I believe Arthur's main role is going to take down that monster that the Demon King brung. I don't think none of the 7 deadly sins are going to be able to bring it down. I think what's going to happen is that they're going to probably fight it and weaken it or pause it for a moment, and then when Arthur gets revived, he's going to somehow come near Merlin's side, who is with the 7 deadly sins, because that's the group that she's part of, and he's going to see this demon and he's going to probably slay it. And where he's taking care of that with the 7 deadly sins and the rest of Britannica and their army, I can see Meliodas and Mel taking on Demon King Zeldarus and beating them. Problem is, we know Meliodas and Bond together can take down the Demon King, but can Elizabeth and Meliodas take down the Demon King? That I do not know. I'm kind of iffy there, because she hasn't really shown any like high level abilities fighting wise to be on that level. Yeah, her healing is on that level, but she's also cursed again, so death is following her. And it's going to be kind of hard for Meliodas to protect her and keep an eye on her, while at the same time trying to fight his father and keep an eye on him. Because he's not trying to destroy him, but just beat him out of his body. And it's going to be even more difficult than trying to fight him to the death. So it's like, Meliodas put himself in a really, really bad predicament. Really, really bad. I think it would have been better if they would have like somehow locked Elizabeth in like a safety castle or a safety net or something, or a perfect cube, and just lock her up in there and then let them leave or something like that. That probably would have been better, but it is what it is. And when it comes to Escanor asking and praying to Mel for help for one more time, will Mel come? Will he be the shining grace to help all this? I mean, he could help either side. He could either help the 7 deadly sins fight that monster that the Demon King brung. He could either help Meliodas and Elizabeth fight the Demon King. Maybe he might show up and he might protect Elizabeth while Elizabeth is healing Meliodas, and then that allows Meliodas to just focus on the Demon King, Zildjian, instead of having to protect Elizabeth while fighting him, since there's someone else there to protect her from the curse. That could be a possibility if he shows up. Or if Mel shows up, he can also help the Pretenian army being protected from the Demon King's army that's coming, or more monsters that might come out from that gate that's still open. Or who knows, maybe Mel might not show up at all. Maybe he might just extract the grace from himself and give it back to Escanor to use for the remainder of his life, or whatever he has left. It can go either way of the three, so. But yeah, this was the dope chapter 313. If you haven't already, go read it. If you haven't read it, go read it again. Really great stuff. That's all I have for you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Give this video a like, follow me on Twitter, link me down below. Please hit that notification bell because YouTube is very iffy. Make sure you subscribe and the notification bell is hit. But that's all I have for you guys. Peace out, have a good one.